Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Reganelite's Global News, episode 76 here on the 22nd of July, 2025 at 6 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Before I go any further, before I respond to comments and whatnot, I don't know how many articles I'm going to cover. I might even only cover one or two. I have quite a bad migraine from today, and I'm going to talk. I will talk more about the blood donating tomorrow. But just to show off, there it is. There it is, there, guys. Just for reference, to show that it has been. It did happen. It did happen. I have to keep it on. So it did happen. So yes, I did donate blood today, guys, but I will talk a bit more about it tomorrow. I wasn't sure, obviously. I was generally there was a part of me that was contemplating not doing this live stream, but I've only got 5 stories max for you guys. I might just stick to 4. I do have funny memes if I really want to do them, but like I said, I do have quite a migraine, so I'm going to stick to the stories that we got. I know there was the story that just come out that the House Speaker Mike Johnson is suspending Congress from stopping them from voting on the Jeffrey Epstein case, which I just heard. So, which I'm really annoyed about. I haven't seen any comments from my post that I made about the blood donation either. So if you've said something, I haven't seen it yet, so I do apologise as well. But just want to get through some bits. Mr. E, thank you so much for coming early. Really appreciate it, and thank you for that £5 super chat. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much for that. And thank you again for another £2 super chat as well. Stephen Banker, good to see you there, my friend. Hope you are doing well. And Jao, one of our moderators, good to see you there as well. If you guys haven't checked out Jao's YouTube channel, be greatly appreciated. And Genie Bottle is also there as well. Good to see you there, Genie Bottle. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for those super chats, Mr. E, and for the ones for the one this morning, I believe as well. Forgive me, I do like I said, guys, I do have a bit of a migraine. So do bear with me as I try to convolute my thoughts to a certain extent. But I do feel that talking about some of these issues is important, and it's like, yes, I may have a bit of a migraine right now, but you know, it's nothing compared to what other people are going through right now, especially what's happening in the Middle East here, guys. So the number of aid seekers have been killed by Israel in Gaza tops 1,000 according to the UN, and at least 80 children are among 101 Palestinians who have died of starvation and malnutrition in Gaza since the war erupted, according to the Enclave's hospital. See, what I'm going through is nothing compared to what these guys are going through, you know, what these people are suffering here. Aid seekers, guys, people who are trying to save lives. Just a quick reference, I have both fans on to try and keep me cool. If they're making too much noise, do let me know. If I'm speaking too low, do say in the chat as well, just for reference. I do have the chats up as well, guys. Aid seekers, people who are desperately trying to get aid and medical supplies to those who are literally struggling, literally have nothing, or are literally dying. We've had, as it says there, people have dying of starvation and malnutrition, and they're literally killing people off. And it's so heartbreaking to consistently talk about this. And it's so heartbreaking that no one is taking action about this. People consistently condemn. There are people and organizations out there who are consistently, and international organizations and bodies, who are condemning what the IDF are doing, what the Israeli government are doing here. But again, it's really down to applying pressure, of course, to the US and to other major countries. I was just listening briefly to, very briefly, because they to Stephen Flynn. I just heard he made a speech in the Commons, obviously attacking David Lammy about what's happening here in Gaza, and like a part of me just feels like if I was in that house, I would probably just lose it. I would just start swearing. I would just start shouting. David Lammy, the first thing he said was, "We're not providing weapons and arms to Israel," and I just pictured this immediately in my mind of standing up and saying, "You're a fucking liar, you're a fucking liar, you're a fucking liar," and being thrown out the chamber for swearing and shouting at David Lammy, because that's what I feel like doing. Like that's generally how I would have felt like doing if I was in Stephen Flynn's position. But that's probably because of the migraine that I've got here as well. But back here in the Middle East, obviously, like I just don't know what they can do. I really, really wish Egypt would do something on their side of their side of the wall, to do something about trying to let anything in. It infuriates me that Israel has control of the whole strip. That's the thing that angers me the most. And then nothing's being done about this. So Israeli forces have killed more than 1,000 Palestinians as they were trying to access food in Gaza since the United States Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation began operations at the end of May, according to the United Nations. So as of the 21st of July, we have recorded 1,054 people killed in Gaza while trying to get food. 766 of them were killed in the vicinity of the GHF sites, and 288 near the UN and other humanitarian organisations' aid convoys. UN Human Rights Office spokesperson Tareen Al-Khateem told AFP News Agency on Tuesday, stating that the victims have been killed by the Israeli military. Murdered is another term that some people have been using as well. It's just absolutely insane. There have been stories I've heard, and these have been denied by the IDF. There have been stories where they basically they're having fun. The Israeli soldiers are having fun doing all this. They're having fun shooting at them and consider that it's all target practice and whatnot. Like, they think this is all fun and games for some of them. I just think it's just... I just don't understand what goes through their minds. Really don't. On Tuesday alone, Israeli forces killed at least 43 Palestinians, including 10 aid seekers, in attacks across Gaza since dawn. A day after tanks pushed into southern and eastern parts of Gaza's Delia al-Bashir city for the first time. Israel's genocidal war on Gaza and humanitarian blockage, which it only partially lifted in March, continues to plunge the Palestinian territory in an increasingly dire malnutritional crisis, with at least 15 people, including 4 children, have died due to starvation and malnutrition in Gaza within 24 hours. The Enclave's Ministry of Health said on Tuesday. This, like, how much more of constitutes a genocide do you need to point out here that it's a genocide? Like, and still, people defend what Israel are doing. One child from Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, another was a 40-year-old baby in the north. According to our colleagues at Al Jazeera Arabic, over the past 3 days, 21 children have died from malnutrition and starvation, the team reported. 3 deaths were recorded at the hospitals in Gaza, including Al Shafir in Gaza City, Al Asanas Marta Hospital in Delia al-Bashir, and Nasir Hospital in Khan Yunis. Over the past 72 hours, Mohammed Abu Samrida, head of the Al Shafir Hospital, Gaza's largest, told reporters on Tuesday today. This brings the total number of hunger-related deaths in the Gaza Strip to 101, including 80 children, since Israel launched its war on the enclave after the Hamas-led October 7th attacks on southern Israel. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, the UNRWA, said more than 1 million children in Gaza are going hungry. Rachel Cummings, Save the Children's humanitarian director, described the situation in Gaza as catastrophic. Speaking at Al Jazeera from Delia al-Bashir, she said there's been no adequate food supplies from Gaza for a very long time. Yeah, because they don't want to give it. They don't want to give it. The markets are empty. The water sanitation situation is not adequate to meet the needs of 2 million people, who are all on the brink of famine, Cummings said. She said that in Delia al-Bashir, she has seen hungry people, children carrying empty bowls, looking for food, looking for water. We've seen an increasing number of children in our clients and our nutrition centres who are malnourished. We're also seeing an increasing number of pregnant women and breastfeeding women who are also malnourished, she said, adding, everyone in Gaza is hungry now. And even in my team, I see visibly my team are thin and they cannot get food in the market. So even the reporters as well. Michael Fontaine, a UN special reporter on the rights of food, has called starvation and a man-made famine. It is man-made. What we're seeing now in Gaza's most horrific stage of Israel's starvation campaign, Falik told Al Jazeera. UN reporter underlined that the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallagher in November for crimes against humanity and war crimes committed during the Gaza war. Allegations that are partly related to the use of starvation. He said the arrest warrants create a legal obligation countries must act to stop the starvation. Medical personnel also affected by Israel's starvation tactics, as doctors, nurses and other healthcare workers in Gaza are facing due to hunger and exhaustion, the UNRWA chief Felipe Loasi had said. Quote, right now I'm seeing severe hunger and starvation among both my colleagues and my patients. I see people that are struggling to get through a day's work because they don't have the energy to do their normal duties, said Duran Nuran, a Canadian fellow pancreatic surgeon, speaking from Nasir Hospital, where she's currently volunteering. She added that she has seen people injured in Israeli air raids, attacks on their tents with severe multi-system injuries and burns, who were malnutritious and did not have the ability to get extra calories and protein that they would not normally need to heal from this kind of injury and to survive it. The AFP Journalists Union has warned that its journalists working in Gaza are at risk of dying due to hunger. One of its 10 freelance posts a message on social media saying, "I don't have the strength to work for the media. My body is thin and I can't work." The AFP news agency warned that most of its workers in the strip do not have the physical capacity to do their job any longer, and the situation is worsening. Heartbreaking calls for the help are now daily, it says. Despite journalists receiving a monthly salary, there is either nothing to buy or food is available only at extortion prices, the union said. We risk learning the deaths of any moment and it's unbearable for us. This is another way of killing Gazans as well. Without the media there, we can't see what's happening. And then we can't see what's happening. They want us to be blind from what's happening. Since AP was founded in August 1994, we have lost journalists in conflicts. We have wounded and prisoners in our ranks, but none of us can remember seeing a colleague die of hunger. We refuse to see them die. When you hear about the malnutrition of starvation of people, but also the fact that journalists who are trying to do their job as well, they're being killed off as well because they don't want people talking. They don't want people talking. Why is nobody doing anything about this? I just cannot understand why the world is just consistently attacking and having to go at Israel while doing nothing about it at the same time. It's just doing nothing about it at the same time. It's just so heartbreaking. It's just not helping my headache. But the people of Gaza are asking why are they left once they supported them to be excuses at their children's lives. Says Mr. E. Jow says if we applied the same sanctions to Israel applied to Russia, this conflict would have ended long ago. Yep, it would have done. Touching and shaking a finger while selling weapons, ammunition and armor. Yeah, they do not care. They know they can do it. Yeah, they know they can do it because international norms have been thrown out the window. International norms have been thrown out the window because of what's happening. That's the problem. Good evening, Alex Adams. Hope you are doing well. Of course, I will continue to cover it as much as I possibly can. There are stories, obviously, on Rumble that I'll be posting over the. Most of it is already scheduled. I've scheduled for the week. If you guys want to check any of that content out on Rumble, you can do. Link for it's down below as well. There. Next story I've got for you guys is from the Associated Press here. So Stephen Colbert jokes about cancel culture and has a very pointed message for President Donald Trump. So what's this about? So the television, well, the big US, one of the biggest late night television shows in the United States, the late night with Stephen Colbert, I think it is, or the late show with Stephen Colbert, is to be cancelled. But the late show itself, which has been around for over 30 years, is to be axed by CBS, and it really is cancel culture. It really is a case of cancel culture, and all for the sake because of trying to woo one man, and that is Donald Trump. This is all tied to CBS and Paramount looking to do some kind of merger, and they need the government to approve it, and they can't get approval from the government. And obviously, if they upset the government, i.e., Donald Trump, they're not going to get approval for their merger. Therefore, so they feel that they've been pressure. They feel pressure to kind of like they kind of had to cancel. They feel they had to cancel Stephen Colbert and the Late Show to show that they are willing to yield to Donald Trump. But the thing is, the show doesn't end until next month in May, I think it is. They've got like till April next year. The Stephen Colbert show is going to be running until at least till then. So there's more than enough time for Stephen Colbert to get his jabs in, and he did get his jabs in. Basically telling on the last show I saw, basically telling Colbert to go F himself, telling Donald Trump to go F himself, which were a massive round of applause. It's really sad to see so many businesses, institutions, law firms, and whatnot just bow to the pressure of Donald Trump when it's been clear that following and towing the line does not necessarily mean that Trump's still not going to go after you. And Fox News is a prime example, because guess what? Rupert Murdoch's being sued by the Trump administration. Yeah, Rupert Murdoch and Fox News are being sued by the Trump administration. This is the same Donald Trump who's had the help of Fox News this whole time, and he's still suing them because of the letter that's been opened up about him. Between his relationship between him and Epstein, he's so mad about it that he's basically sued sued Rupert Murdoch over it. I mean, it's just insane, the power. Roger Devine, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. What shall I do? What does it take? While holding her dead child in her arms, I wept because I couldn't do anything. I know. That's the one thing I don't like, is not being in control of your own destiny. And that's exactly what the people of Palestine are. Their control of their lives are not in their hands, and it's cruel. It's just beyond cruel. So Stephen Colbert returned to his first full program after last week's announcement that CBS was cancelling his Late Show with some supportive late night guests, a joke about cancel culture, an extremely pointed remark directed at President Donald Trump. I'm just going ahead and saying it. Cancel culture has gone way too far, Colbert said to a rapturous audience loudly chanting his name. CBS and parent Paramount Global said the decision to end the Late Show next May was purely financial. This is despite the fact that it is the number one news network, number one late night show apparently, and makes record amounts of money for them. Just saying. Pete's Music, good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. And it hasn't gone unnoticed, and was mentioned by Colbert on Monday night, that the announcement comes after the comic had sharply criticised Paramount's $16 million settlement with Trump's lawsuit over his 16-minute interviews. Colbert, known for his sharp comic takedowns of the president, said over the weekend, it's stunking that they killed off our show, but they made one mistake. They left me alive. That was I do recommend, do check out the monologue, guys, that Stephen Colbert did. I do recommend checking it out. It is worth listening to. Now he said, I can say what I really think of Trump right now, as he audience cheered him on. Colbert said, I don't care for him. He doesn't seem to have set skills to be president. He read a passage from Trump's post on social media saying that he loved that the untalented Colbert had been fired. How dare you, sir, Colbert said. Would an untalentable man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? The show switched to a close-up of camera where Colbert apparently just said, F you. No, I'm pretty sure he said, go F yourself. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. The word bleeped out and the mouth blurred. Noting CBX's explanation for his firing, Colbert said, how can it be purely a financial decision if the show is number one in the ratings? It's confusing. There are a lot of folks asking the question, mainly my staff, parents and spouses. With some apparent irradiation, he said that some news stories over the weekend reported that the apparent leak information that the Late Show was losing between $40 million and $50 million a year, and revenue for late night entertainment broadcasters shrunk sharply as the audience, particularly young men, turned to streaming and other priorities. I can see us losing $24 million, Colbert said, but where would Paramount have ever spent the other $60 million, he said. Oh, yeah! Colbert introduced the odd willow of Weird, A.I. Yakovich and Eileen Manomara to sing Coldplay Viva La Vida, a sly reference to the couple caught on camera last week at a Coldplay concert. Late Show cameras panned the audience to find some supportive friends. Fellow night hosts Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Jon Stewart and John Oliver, as well as Adam Sandler, Anderson Cooper and Andy Coulter. Colbert turned serious briefly to address people who had expressed support for him since the announcement was made. Quote, some people see this show going away as a sign of something truly dire, and while I'm a big fan of me, I don't necessarily agree with that statement, he said, because we here at The Late Show never saw our jobs as changing anything other than how you felt at the end of the day, which I think was a worthy goal. Or, he continued, changing how you felt the next morning when you watched on your phone, which is why broadcasting TV is dying. It is true. Now we talked yesterday actually about how the main they were I can't remember who it was, but basically I was saying Ofcom in the UK were basically like saying that mainstream media should be getting more priority basically on YouTube, which is bollocks for that. They shouldn't be given a priority to whatsoever. Witchygoth, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. Guys, do check out Witchygoth's YouTube channel. I believe you were live streaming earlier, or premiere video earlier. Sorry I couldn't pop in and say hello. I've had a banging headache all day. And I've donated blood today as well, which I will talk about tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow. I don't want to talk too much about it now. But for those who haven't seen it, there it is. Just because I'm going to show off, because I want to show off. If you haven't seen the post, there it is. Still there. I can't take it off. I'm not allowed to take it off. I have to keep it on for now. But look, I know some people are not big fans of some of these late night shows, and to be honest, I don't watch a lot of late night. I don't watch. Like, I'll sometimes watch a monologue, but maybe that's about it. But I don't always watch them. But what I can say is, when I have watched Stephen Colbert, like, I always got a laugh out of it. I've gotten a laugh out of some of these guys. But it's just, to me, like, it's just so bullshit that they're cancelling the Late Show, the program altogether. Not just cancelling Stephen Colbert, but cancelling the program that's been around for 30 years. Like, it really is cancel culture. It really is cancel culture. It's so pathetic. It really, really is. Like, and I understand this apparatus that people are now going more online. So, but yeah, it's just annoying. I prefer Seth Meyers, Joe. He seems more fiery progressive, says Mithril. It's been a while since I've listened to Seth Meyers. Good to see you there, Mithril. Hope you are doing well. Richie Golf says, I was Regan. Lovely people in the chat. And yes, giving blood can give you a headache. Fluids are needed. Oh, yes, I've been going through tons of fluid. They gave me tons of fluid before and after. And I've still got 2 bottles here as well. So, yeah, Colbert is not my thing, but he deserves my respect for what I would do, and also telling Chompo. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to saying what it is. Like, and I'm, you know, but this whole cancel culture thing, it's just so frustrating. It really, really is, guys. The next story I've got for you guys is from Africa News. The United Nations says Sustainable Development Goals is at risk in the current political climate. It is, because in order for, if we want to achieve development in some of the most poorest nations in the world, funding is required. We need to help these nations. And for too long, there's been a lot of nations out there that have just not been able to develop. Whether it's the impact on climate change, whether it has been the war-torn countries and the governments that are leading it, there needs to be something done. In particular, the African nations. Yes, there are lots of other poor nations around the world, but in particular, a lot of African nations that have been scarred by. People have to remember that it's because of European nations and what they have been there, and what the damage that they have caused to the African continent. They are the reason that many of them, including the UK, are the reason that many of these countries are in the situation that they are in, and we should be doing more to help them. But a lot of problem is that there are many nasty nations with evil governments and evil corporations and whatnot, who are taking advantage of the current situations and allowing these things to continue, who are allowing these nations to stay in the same situations they are, while also raking in all the resources from the continent for their own benefit. And that's not what it should be. The resources belong to the people of those countries, or the people of that nation, and it should be for them to decide whether they want to sell it to you or not. It shouldn't be forced out of their hands. Yeah, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow morning, Pete's Music. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I did do a post on it as well, a community post, if anyone wants to comment on there. I haven't read the comments yet on it. Sustainable but development when some people are barely surviving. Yeah. Meanwhile, council are rebounding by a company. I prefer that old brain. Bring back a marathon, says Genie Bottle. So let's read a little bit into this, guys. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called on Monday for the world to act with urgency and ambition as the current political climate puts sustainable development goals at risk. Guterres spoke to ministers of the UN member states during the 2025 high-level political forum on sustainable development in New York. The forum is the UN's platform for renewables, renewing the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. The sustainable development is not a dream. They are plan A. They are a plan to keep promises to the most vulnerable people, to each other, and to future generations, he says. Only 35% of sustainable developments are on track to meet their targets by 2030, according to a recent UN report. Only 35%! 35%. UN chief says wars and perils of the world are pushing SDG targets further out of reach. The global economy is slowing, trade tensions are rising, inequalities are growing, aid budgets are being decimated while military spending soars. And mistrust, division and outright conflicts are placed the international problem solving under unprecedented strain, he said. This could not have been more read been more true than right now. And I'm going to read that again because this really speaks truth to power about what's happening, guys. The global economy is slowing. Trade tensions are rising. Inequality are growing. Aid budgets are being decimated while military spending soars. And mistrust, division, and outright conflicts are placing the international problem solving under unprecedented strain, he said. This could not be more true. All this is so true. And the millionaires and billionaires, the wealthiest in society, are taking advantage of people, taking advantage of governments, taking advantage of all of us in doing so as well. The Secretary General said the world must not surrender. He pointed to research commitments such as the pandemic agreement adopted by the World Health Assembly in May, and he pledges to expand marine protection areas that came out of the third UN Ocean Conference in June. He said that these achievements were not isolated wins but signs of momentum. World leaders adopted the Agenda for Sustainable Development in 2015 as a roadmap to end poverty, protect the planet and tackle inequalities. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are meant to reach their targets by 2030. We're nowhere near going to reach that target. We're literally less than 5 years away. I cannot see us reaching that target with what's been happening right now. Just cannot see it. It's just terrible. Too many world leaders are being manipulated. Too many leaders are not standing up for what's right. Meanwhile, cancer. I've read that already. Sorry. The reason why we have so many issues is the fact that some of us develop and do not lend a hand to others. Yeah, one of the things that really upsets me, Jow, is that when I keep hearing about giving money to help other nations and whatnot, right? And hand on heart, like I really do applaud the people who help develop some of these countries, organizations and bodies out there. I really do applaud them. You know, when I remember when I see like water pumps being built, schools being built, and seeing the education and the changes that are being made in some countries, it really does warm my heart when I see that stuff, right? And don't get me wrong, I always admire and appreciate anybody who donates money to those causes and causes that really make a lives to people. But governments can make a difference too. And if we worked together in an international level, if all world leaders would work together, like money is not always the answer, okay? But yes, money does help these situations. But even so, like it's just even just ensuring security, even just ensuring that people have a life where they can't be hit by war, persecution, and conflict, that they could be sustainable. Governments that actually prioritize the needs of its people rather than the needs of its own power. That's one of the biggest problems that we have as well. So many governments, so many leaders are more concerned about holding their own political power, worried about the next election, worried about making sure that our voters are going to vote for them, that they are staying on their sides, and not thinking about actually, while you're in power, thinking about how you can make people's lives better. Too many are thinking more about the next poll, the next election that's coming along, rather than actually dealing with the crises that are in front of them. Too many of that. Giving blood is easy, and small prick test is done if you see the iron levels are good and right colour. And you get 3/4 of a pint drained. Afterwards, you get tea, coffee, biscuits plus a sticker. Well, unfortunately, Genie Bottle, I did not give a full bag of blood, if you saw from my community post, unfortunately. It was not. It was. I'm sorry. Part of me is. There is a part of me that is annoyed as well. While like I am delighted to have given blood, but part of me is very frustrated by the fact that I don't even know how much blood I gave because I didn't even ask the question. I don't know if I gave half a bag. I don't know if I gave a quarter of a bag, but I do know I gave some blood. I don't know how much I gave though. So I know that. That's all I know. Investing, not giving money to oligarchs. Portugal builds schools and medical centres in Portugal-speaking Africa and sends our companies to create businesses and jobs. That's what she's doing. Like, if you help build these countries up, you know, if you work alongside them, cooperate with them, don't like take control of their countries, but help them on their feet. Help leaders, help governments, help people how to do these things. It would be much catching up on the noisy step. No worries, Mr. E. You know, you got to take care. Life things always come in the way. It's all good, my friend. It's all good. Questions asked before donating blood. I just said that already. Sorry. Yeah. So, anyways, going back off topic, guys. I got 2 more stories to go here. Like I said, this ain't going to be a long live stream. I might even skip the funny memes. I might just save them for next week just because of how I'm feeling. Another example of bowing to pressure. So some of you guys heard a story, right? So some of you guys may have heard the story about Donald Trump moaning about Coca-Cola, right? And he said about having cane sugar, wanting cane sugar back in Coca-Cola, right? So guess what Coca-Cola are doing? I'm not joking. Coca-Cola will launch a version with US cane sugar after Trump's push. The president said last week he urged the iconic soft drink brand to use the sweeteners in its American version of Coke. Literally. Like, literally, this is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. Just to not upset the orange tangerine. A multi-billion-dollar company, one of the biggest companies on the planet, Coca-Cola, bowing to the pressure of Donald Trump because Donald Trump says, I like their Coca-Cola with cane sugar in it. Oh, quick, we don't want to upset Donald Trump. We better make a version of that just to appease Donald Trump. You guys are so spineless. You're so spineless. My God, they're so spineless. The Coca-Cola company said on Tuesday it will launch a version of its signature drink made with American sugar cane. The announcement comes days after President Donald Trump cried mommy on Truth Social that he has been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real sugar cane in Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so. Oh, God. He actually spoke on the phone to them. My God. Initially, Coca-Cola did not confirm the news. The company told NBC News last week that it appreciated Trump's enthusiasm for our iconic Coca-Cola brand, but that details will be shared soon. The company said in its earnings release Tuesday morning that a version of the drink with sugarcane was indeed coming later this year. As part of our ongoing innovation agenda, this fall in the United States, the company plans to launch an offering made with US cane sugar to expand its trademark Coca-Cola product, its news release said. Coca-Cola produced in the US market is typically sweetened with corn syrup, while the company uses sugarcane in some other countries, including Mexico and various European countries. In the United States, Coca-Cola made with sugarcane is colloquially known as Mexican Coke and is often imported from the United States' southern neighbor. The Coke made with US sugarcane will be complemented with the company's existing product line, the company added. Coca-Cola already uses sugarcane in the company's tea, lemonade, coffee and Vietnam War offerings, CEO James Quinsley said on an earnings call Tuesday morning. Quote, I think it will be an enduring option for consumers, he said. We are definitely looking at the whole toolkit of available sweetening options where there are consumer preferences. Last week, Trump said, this will be a very good move by them. You'll see it's just better, he says. The Trump administration's Make America Healthy Again initiative, named for a social movement aligned with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has pushed food companies to alter their formulations to remove indigest ingredients like artificial dyes. While taste preferences may differ, the health impact of cane sugar on high fructose corn syrup is essentially the same. Okay, so it's not going to make too much of a difference in terms of the food parts there. Dr. Darish, I am not saying that surname, a cardiologist and director of the Food of Medical Institutes at the Freeman School of Nutrition Science and Policy at Tufts University, said that both high fructose corn syrup and sugarcane are about 50% fructig, 50% glucose, and have identical metabolic effects. That is, both can equally raise the rise for obesity, diabetes, I cannot say that word, and blood pressure. Both provide the same number of calories, but the body processes them differently. The CEO of Corn Refiners Association said last week that replacing high fructose corn syrup with sugarcane doesn't make sense, giving chance support for American farmers. I know, but it's Donald Trump. You don't want to upset the angry orange tangerine. Fuck's sake. Replacing high fructose corn syrup with sugarcane would cost thousands of American food manufacturing jobs, despite farms' income, and boost imports of foreign sugar, all with no nutritional benefit, he added in a statement. Oh, for Christ's sake. U.S. sugar cane is primarily produced in Texas, Florida, and Louisiana, according to Agriculture Department. However, domestic production accounts for only 30% of total U.S. sugar supplies. The rest are from sugar beets. The rest comes from sugar beets or is imported. So they're literally taking jobs away from Americans and giving it more to foreigners. Literally by making this change. Oh, and I've got oh god, this is I don't know why. In a weird sort of way, this anger is making my migraine better. Oh, I don't know why. Something is terribly wrong, guys, with me. Trump has a long and mostly friendly relationship with Coca-Cola products. In 2012, he said on Twitter that Coke was not happy with him, but that's okay. I'll keep drinking that garbage. Trump also wrote on social media the same year that drinking Diet Coke makes you happy. In January, Quincy travelled to Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort and presented him with a custom bottle commemorating his upcoming inauguration. For fuck's sake. This is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. All to appease the orange tangerine. All to appease the orange tangerine, guys. Let me have a look, see what you guys are saying about this insane story. I thought he drank Diet Coke. Well, apparently, yeah. Well, he did drink it. We literally just saw it in the article. So yes, he did drink Diet Coke. I think he drinks whatever is given to him, which he got. If I'm honest, I think he just drinks whatever. Since he got into power, my occasional rare drinking of American cola has left my life, says Jal. My Mortons will no longer have the cola in unless it's cheap brand from supermarket, then, says Alex Adams. Which says, I must admit, I do love Coca-Cola. I can't drink it often because fizzy drinks don't agree with me. To be honest, I don't drink the only fizzy drinks. I don't drink a lot of fizzy drinks personally as well. My favourite fizzy drink is Fanta Fruit Twist. I know that's a terrible one, but I can't help it. Fanta Orange I like. Tango Orange I like. I don't have any downstairs. I normally stick to squash, blackcurrant, orange squash. It's mainly what drinks I stick to. But in terms of fizzy drinks, those if I really wanted a fizzy drink, those would be the ones that I would go for. There are lots of fizzy drinks out there I've not tried, to be fair, as well. I think that it's important for me to emphasize that. They're spending millions in advertisement here because American fast food chains and colas are going under. And no, we do not care that they make it here. Our factories will produce other drinks. Yep, stick to your own brand, you know. Americans voted for Trump, and this is what they're getting. Yep, don't forget to hit the like button if you can do that, guys. Thank you for reminding us, Witchigoff. Jal says, and it's the younger generation that is boycotting American brands with more intensity. Peach Music said, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, full fat, are decent. I rarely drink fizzy drinks. Yeah, like I said, I don't drink that much either, to be fair. But sometimes when I'm really desperate, if I'm out, like if I really will want something, like with a sugar rush, I will go for Fanta Fruit Twist in a convenience store and just get that right down me. You know, sorry, hit the mic there. Like, just because it's a massive sugar rush to me. It doesn't make me hyper, by the way. Sorry, if that's what you're hoping. I think I'm going to do it. Seems like a worthwhile thing to do, says Roger Devine. Fanta Grape, I don't think you can get through it. And yeah, blackcurrant squash, yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's frustrating, guys, frustrating. Like I said, guys, this ain't going to be a long live stream here. I might do a couple more on from the Kiev Independent, but not a lot. So we'll look at a couple of stories, maybe. Russia recruits children into drone programs through games, education, incentives, and media reports. Let me guess. So they're going to basically get them train them up to be able to use basically how to basically control drones using an Xbox controller, right? Russian school children are being funneled into drone development and other military programs under the guidance of educational initiatives, according to an investigation by Russian independent outlet The Insider, published on July 22nd. The reporting reveals how children are recruited through seamlessly harmless video games, state-run competitions, and promotes an academic of career advancement, all orchestrated by Russia's defense ministry and sanctioned at the highest level of government. At the core of the campaign is Bologa, a video game launched in 2022 and personally approved by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Oh, that must be a great game if it's approved by the Russian dictator himself. The game appeals to high school students by offering up to 10 bonus points on Russia's national exams to top players. Oh my god, talk about incentivized for kids. Oh my god. Those who excel to Brulee are invited to join high-level competitions such as Big Challenges, where students work directly with defense contractors? Oh my god. Participants told the insiders they were trying to obscure the military purpose of their projects by inventing civilian applicants who presented to judges. Oh my god. This is so crazy. Quote, when we are defending our projects in the final, we are forbidden to say that it was needed for the war, one student told the outlet. A project must always have a dual purpose, especially when you're a student. One 13-year-old reportedly trained Russian soldiers in drone operations. I'm just imagining this young kid with the controller, literally showing them how they did what they did with the drones to Russian soldiers, veteran Russian soldiers. This is crazy. This is insane. This is so insane. They are literally, Putin is literally fucking with children's minds here. Russia push to militarize youth also includes hands-on roles in drone production. State propaganda videos earlier showed teenagers assembling Generation 2 drones, Russia's local variant of the Shala type strike drones, and the Albar industrial complex in Tarstam. Russia started widely using Shala drones in late 2022. Their affordability and simple production have made it a key part of Moscow's air assault tactics. In June alone, Russia launched over 5,300 Shala drones, and Ukraine suffered the largest record aerial assault on July the 9th, with 741 drones and missiles launched in a single day. Germany's Major General Christian Frotz's head of Ukraine policy at Germany's Defense Ministry, warned on July 20th that Moscow aims to scale its drone capacity to launch as many as 2,000 drones a night. 13-year-old reportedly trained Russian soldiers at a drone operation. A 13-year-old. Listen, I like Call of Duty, but this is something else here. This is something else here. Dear oh dear. I'm just gonna refresh the page again. I'm kind of like a part of me is like, I shouldn't be surprised by this, but a part of me is like I can't believe this is happening, if you know what I mean. But the thing is, I shouldn't be surprised by this. We should not be surprised by this. The sad thing is, imagine how deadly an attack drone will be in a teenager's hands. But the thing is, and I don't know how many of you guys have seen, I think I've seen this in kind of films where children play video games where they think they're playing a video game where they're actually playing real life. And my fear is that a lot of Russian children are going to be playing video games with drones and whatnot, but when in actual fact it's actually drones used to strike targets in Ukraine, targeting people in Ukraine, targeting buildings, targeting whatnot in Ukraine. And they actually do not know that they're doing that. They don't actually, where they're actually thinking they're playing a video game when in actual fact they're actually killing people. They're actually destroying people, and they don't actually know that. I don't know how many of you are familiar with with Call of Duty. Some of you obviously, I would say most of you heard of the game, but I don't. But there's a scene in one of the franchises. There's a scene in, and I'll never forget that scene. So Call of Duty had, I think it was like the second or third game. I think it was called Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And in the campaign, they had a scene in it where you are a Russian terrorist. You come down the elevator with the rest of the Russian terrorists. You come out of an airport and you start shooting civilians. You start shooting civilians. And I've played that. And that was a long time ago. And I didn't think of it at the time because I just thought of it as a video game. But when I think about this, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of that cutscene in the game. You know, I remember the Russian guy says, "Remember, no Russian," and they pulled out the doors, and you start firing. You have to shoot innocent Russian civilians. I mean, it's a video game, but still, you're shooting innocent people. You're not supposed to do that. Again, I know it's a video game, but it's still, it kind of, it brings me back to that scene. And obviously, there are much video games that are much worse out there. Hence, what's happening in Russia right now with these Russian kids. To manipulate kids and manipulating these children into thinking that what they're doing is right, or what they think is playing a video game when it's not. And don't be surprised if you see this kind of stuff in Africa in the future as well. Like we already know, like in Haiti. I talked about it in Haiti a while ago, guys. In Haiti a while ago. And it's probably still happening, but you know, children are being recruited by the thugs, by gangs in Haiti, right? Really young children, holding weapons, shooting at innocent people, shooting at police officers, shooting at anyone who's trying to get in the way of the gangs, recruiting young kids into those gangs because of people in Haiti can't get jobs, can't do anything. So they turn to joining the gangs, and obviously the women, they and sadly, what happens to the women? Well, I don't really want to talk about it because it's, you know, they just be used to work in the kitchens, and you can guess what the men do to the women. I don't need to give you the details. War games were developed with military purpose software, then used to train the next generation of warfare by computer control. Like, the thing is that, you know, I'm just going to ramble a little bit before we wrap up. Like, I played Call of Duty a lot, okay? I played a lot of Call of Duty when I was a bit younger, okay? I remember I put 14 days of gameplay into one Call of Duty game. And that's not counting the times that I was waiting in lobbies for games as well. 14 days. 14 days. That's of actual gameplay on multiplayer where I'm actually shooting people with guns and all that kind of stuff. 14 days. And if I want to brag, I averaged about 2 to 1 ratio of kills as well. Because people bragged about your kill-death ratio. Because that's still a thing in Call of Duty, your kill-death ratio. But it didn't affect, but I understood what's right from wrong. And the majority of people who played those games and played military games and still play military games, we understand what's right and what's wrong. We understand that it's a video game. We understand that it's not real. But if you ask the majority of those people, they will say they don't. Obviously, what's happening in real life when it comes to real military, real warfare, obviously it's not good because real people are dying, real people are suffering. But people know, like myself and you guys watching, we know that they're video games and they're not harming anyone. But those kids in Russia, they're going to be taught not to know that. How do we know it's not happening in other places as well? Just go on call out here. The goal reached financially. Reganelite just listening. Thank you so much for the £10 super chat, Alistair Kier. Thank you so much for that. My pizza is ready, so catch you all in the morning. No worries, Richard Goff. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And guys, do check out her YouTube channel if you get a chance to. Please do. I do apologise for not being there, Witchy. But I really appreciate it whenever you're here on the channel. I really do. Thank you so much. I will try to catch you whenever I can. Okay. I can't promise, but I will try to. Okay. Flight Simulator was an original example. Simple transfer and train to fly, says Genie Bottle. Yeah. That kid will get so jarded one day it will hurt someone and not feel anything. And there's the psychological effects if children don't understand that difference as well. Creating monsters, says Joe. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, should I do the funny memes, guys? Yes, I can do the funny memes. Yes, we've gone. I wasn't expecting to. This wasn't going to be a long live stream, but it looks like we've nearly hit an hour. So let's do the funny memes, guys. Let's do the funny memes. I've got 5 for you. I have had what I normally do is I actually spend the evening this evening, every Tuesday evening or the next day. I basically get the funny memes done early so that I have them ready in advance. Now one of them is actually from I think it's from. I think one of the funny memes I've got is actually from you, Ellie, who's just appeared in the chat there. Good to see you there. So one of the funny memes is actually from Ellie. So so yes. But I've got 5 funny memes here. So let's go through them. Sorry, I got no funny video for you guys, but I wasn't sure how long we're going to go today. But let's do the funny memes. Let's have a little fun on our way out. Okay. Here we go. Let's see how this does. The surgeon collapsed with exhaustion after a 28-hour surgery of removing Nigel Farage's tongue from Donald Trump's ass. He did a good job. If you're having a bad day, at least you didn't get caught cheating at a Coldplay concert. If you don't know the reference, Google it. How it feels going back to work after your lunch break. Dum 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 dum. I'll never tell anyone if I win the lottery, but there will be signs. I just cannot, for the life of me, know. How's that? I just can't tell if anyone on that in this picture has won the lottery. It's kind of hard to tell, you know. They all look the same to me, all these houses, you know. I'm not blocking the view. I am the view. I am the view. I love this cat one. Oh, I do like the cat one. I have to say, I do like the cat one there. That is the one you sent me. This is the one you sent me, Ellie. I can't remember where you sent it. If you sent it on Instagram or Discord or whatnot, but you definitely sent that one to me. And I thought, okay, I'll add one. I'll add one from one that you sent. So thank you for that. Excellent house. Excellent house, says Joe. You know what? Actually, what's that house from, guys? Does anyone know what it's from? It's definitely a video game. It's definitely a video game. I'm trying to think of what is that house from. I feel like it feels familiar, like it from a video game, but I don't know what. It definitely feels familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it. So if anyone knows, let me know before we wrap up. I feel like it does feel familiar to me. I just can't remember what from though, because it definitely feels like it's from a video game or even a TV show. I don't know if it's from. It's not from He-Man, is it? Like Skeletor's Castle, possibly. I don't know. That's just a tell. Child Soldier Shop Reganelite's been out for decades in Africa. Yeah, but they weren't using video games there. They weren't using video games. Cats are in charge. Yeah, apparently cats are in charge of this one. Yeah, cats are in charge. I'm kind of gothic metal, says Jow. Well, I mean, it is pretty. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty fucking cool. Yeah, it's a pretty fucking cool house. I'm not gonna lie. I like those dark themes and horror. Yeah. Yeah, you did send it to me on Instagram. Yeah, okay. If you sent me more, I'll have a look whenever I get a chance to. But yeah, guys, we've reached the end of this live stream. You know what? I came into this with a really bad headache. I was a bit tired and whatnot, but I feel a hell of a lot better after this live stream, guys. And I'm so glad I did the live stream. Just because I get to talk to you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I honestly thank you, really appreciate you guys being here. I generally do feel a lot better after doing this show. So thank you guys all for coming here. Thank you guys for all your comments, for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Aliston, for the late super chat, £10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. E, for your super chats as well. I really appreciate it both as well. I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate all your support. I will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. where I will explain the whole story of blood donation that I had, guys. I will tell you guys all about it. before we talk about the news. I will explain the story of the blood donation, what happened, why I didn't give a full pint. You'll find it all out tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to hear that story, join me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for the story. But I am done this evening. Guys, if Graham Hughes and Bowler Hatman go with Geo with the Geoscopes, do check them out at 7:30 on Politics Social. And cross fingers, Max goes live tonight at 8:30. I will definitely be in the chat for that, so do join Max Robersby if you can as well, and give him some love as well. It's a shame he couldn't live stream on Friday. Hopefully you can live stream tonight, guys. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evenings, whatever you guys are doing. I'm going to go and have myself dinner, because I need to have a dinner. I need to eat, of course, because eating is really important after donating. Oh, thank you. You didn't need to send us another super chat, Aliston. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that support. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But I'll talk all about it tomorrow morning, guys. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Social media be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you're on Twitch, please consider hitting the follow button. Hit the bell notification icon to be notified. If you guys want more content, do check out down below Patreon and Rumble for exclusive content on those platforms as well. And do consider joining our free Discord community. Link for that is in the description as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon. you